Hey, Penn State fans, it's Max Ralph with PennLive. It's been a little while. I've been traveling and stuff, but what a time to come back and come chat with y'all. Penn State just took down the number 8 team in the country, Purdue, in purely dominant fashion tonight at the Bryce Jordan Center. It was 81-70 in the final score, but if we're being honest, it was never that close. Penn State was leading by 27 at one point in the second half. This was just a thorough beatdown of a team that is year in and year out one of the best in the Big Ten and one of the best in the country. Last year, Matt Painter's crew was national runner-ups, and Penn State came out here and just dominated them. It's a really promising sign. We all kind of talked about it heading into the day, that this could be kind of a program-defining litmus test kind of game for Mike Rhoades in year 2 under Penn State, where the team started 7-1 and looked pretty good. Had the one loss against Clemson. We weren't really sure quite how good that Clemson team was. Well, it turns out this week they went out and beat number 4 Kentucky, and then Penn State comes in here and dominates Purdue. So I think the takeaway number 1 is that this team looks really freaking good. The takeaway number 2 is that this is the type of win that could propel a program. And even though Penn State had a couple of nice wins last year, Wisconsin, Illinois, this one felt different because of the way it happened. Penn State was solid offensively. They shot the ball. They shot the lights out at the beginning of the second half. Started 8 for 12. But the way they did it really was with the turnovers and the style of defense that Mike Rhoades wants to play all the time. They forced 24 Purdue turnovers. Purdue hadn't turned the ball over 20 times in a game since November of 2020. November of 2020. I mean, that is 4 years ago. And Purdue is such a good team. They got out to a 5-0 lead at the start of the game, and then Penn State just started causing chaos. Freddie Dilion, kind of emblematic of the whole night, took a steal right before the under-16 media timeout. Wynn dunked it on the other end. The crowd was into it. It ended up being 5-4 there, and then just a few minutes later after the timeout, Zach Hicks hit a 3. Ace Baldwin and Nick Kern both hit some free throws, took the lead, and Penn State literally never gave it back. The defense kept working a couple of times in the first half. Purdue was on 2+ minute scoring droughts while Penn State went on a 14-2 run. I mean, just really solid, not perfect on the offensive end. Sloppy at times, too many turnovers in the first half, but solid response from Penn State. Capitalization on errors from Purdue. It's really all you could ask for. To highlight some of the stars of the night, Ace Baldwin, like I said, 17 points, 6 assists. Had 4 fouls. I think he would have had a much better night because that 4th foul came down in the second half about midway through. He had a technical after, making a 3-pointer, and he did the ice in his veins thing. Got teed up for it. I'm not entirely sure what it was. Mike Rhoades said after the game that, he did something that was not in line with a memo that was sent to the league recently. I don't know. It was weird. Didn't seem like a great call, but he took his 4th foul, went to the bench. That was the only time when Purdue kind of made things a little bit closer and in garbage time in the final 3 minutes, because Ace was just so impactful tonight. I tweeted it during the game, but I really believe it. Ace Baldwin may not always be the quote-unquote best player on the floor night in and night out. Some guy might shoot better than him, might be a little bit bigger, might be faster, but nobody is ever as in control of game as he is. You can see he's orchestrating everything Penn State does defensively and offensively. He is always the most impactful player on the floor. Really impressive night for him. 12 of 12 at the free throw line. He was getting to the basket, capitalized when Purdue was in the bonus, and just played really well. 5 scores in double figures. Puff Johnson, Nick Kern, Zach Hicks, and Freddie Dilion. I mentioned the steal earlier. He's a weapon for Penn State in transition, honestly. That kind of speed is an aspect that they didn't have last year that has really helped so far and been a huge difference in what they're able to do in the transition game when they are forcing all of these steals. He's athletic, he's long, he can shoot it in transition too. Really key piece for what Mike Rhoades wants to do. Played really well. The key too, they did this without a big game from Yannick Niederhauser, who had been such a star all year. The 7-footer transfer from Northern Illinois was just kind of dominating the lower competition to start the year down low. Got in some early foul trouble, recorded his 2nd foul with 3 minutes left in the first half, sat the rest of it, then came out and got his 3rd foul right at the beginning of the second half. And I was a little bit concerned for Penn State on what would happen if that was the case, because Trey Kaufman-Wren is such a talented forward up in the front court for the Boilermakers. But Kaufman-Renn was kind of quiet. I mean, he scored 15 points. He led them in points, but he didn't do it efficiently, and he had 7 turnovers on the night. Even when Yannick was in there, he was having to work for everything he got. They were denying low post entry passes. They made Kaufman-Renn take it from near the three-point line and work his way down. Just really impressive stuff, especially from Puff Johnson, who was playing some small ball 5 for a lot of the night against Kaufman-Renn, and just did a really good job. I mean, he's only an inch shorter, a few pounds lighter, but like he did really well. Puff has been, in my opinion, one of the X factors of this year. Put on a little bit of weight in the offseason, got healthy, has shot it so much better this year, has been physical down low, really a key piece for them. I just think, the fans stormed the court tonight. Nobody was keeping them off. There were like 3 minutes left in the game, and people started lining up in the hallways here. This is impressive. This is a program builder. There's still a lot to do left in this season. This was the Big Ten opener, but Penn State hasn't really had a game like this in maybe ever. That's not true, of course. I mean, they won an NCAA tournament game not long ago, but for the momentum of Mike Rhoades' program and what this group can do moving forward, it's a really good win tonight. And I think it's, representative that this team's got a chance to make some noise in the Big Ten and the NCAA tournament. So 81-70, Nittany Lions over number 8 Purdue today. I'm Max Ralph, PennLive. Check out my story online. And next up, Big Ten championship for football against Oregon. Going to be interesting. Stay tuned.